All right, and good morning. Good morning. It is Monday, and, well, I'm running a couple minutes behind. I had one of those things where the broadcasting software didn't want to cooperate. So, I was not going to talk about this morning, because, guys, I'm not a football guy, right? You know, I every now and then I watch a game with some buddies if there's beer and hot wings, because, I mean, Wangs, right? But it was opening weekend for college football. Excuse me. Weekend before last was opening weekend for college football. This weekend, however, college football got a little more interesting. And again, I don't watch football. I don't particularly care. So this had to come to me through news channels, and turns out this morning Joe Biden and it's capital letter F hyphen Biden is trending on Twitter. And even that, honestly, I wouldn't care. But the lefties are, well, they're all up in their feels, and they're trying to make some argument. So what happened? Guys, this is what happened. I've got a little bit of a cough this morning from stuff, so I may have to cut it short this morning. We'll see how I do after I get a little bit of this coffee down my gullet. Anyway, so that is what happened. But normally, I would not really care. I wouldn't. I mean, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's funny. And you know, even this, like this picture of Joe Biden with a bunch of kids. There's a larger version of this picture. Most of the children are wearing something like a MAGA hat or a Donald Trump hat or T-shirt, and that is freaking hilarious. Absolutely warms my heart to see that. But we're seeing just madness coming out of these people, and let me show you some of the stuff that they're saying. So we've got this a private guy. Okay. Yeah, it's like Steve points out, funny, the most popular president in history is among the 3 lowest approval ratings ever, and in his first 8 months. That's absolutely correct. And he gave an absolute garbage speech for 9/11, which was Saturday. And so we're seeing stuff like this. Don't be disrespectful to the flag by taking a knee at a football game, they said. Brought to you by the same people that think it's all right to chant F Joe Biden at a football game. Okay, here's what's wrong with you. John, my man. You're an idiot. It was never about respect. It was always about racism. No, it wasn't. And I'm going to clear that up for you right now. You have confused a person with the Constitution, and they are wildly different things. Right? You have confused a despot with the nation and her liberties and principles. These are wildly different things. The people that are chanting "fuck Joe Biden" are deeply disappointed with the president. I'm sure you, John, are one of those that screamed "not my president" over and over again, or something of the sort. And, well, you know what? Yes, he was. And as much as it pains me, Joe Biden is my president now. You know, and whether the election was legitimate or not, fair or not, at the end of the day, the result is that Joe Biden occupies the White House. He is the president. And once the National Archivist records the outcome of an election, it's that simple. That is the outcome as recorded. How we got there might not make you happy. An annual, any given election, there's a lot of dirty that goes on that's aggravating. But once it's recorded by the archivist, it is the case. Now, that does not change the immutable fact that Joe Biden is more deserving of impeachment than any president in history. Right? I mean, Donald Trump was impeached twice over absolute nonsense. The whole Russiagate scandal was fabricated from whole cloth for no reason other than to score some political points. Whereas you've got Joe Biden, who is not only doing things that are overtly, obviously unconstitutional, like the idea of a mask mandate, but in the case especially of the eviction moratorium, Biden had the unmitigated temerity to say to the nation on camera, I understand that this action is unconstitutional and therefore unlawful. I understand that the thing I'm doing with the eviction moratorium is a crime, and I am choosing to do it anyway in defiance of the courts, to take advantage of the long period of time that it will take the courts to catch up to the crime. So, on a positive note, he has exposed the courts for the weak system that it is, exposed the Supreme Court for its absence of a fundamental enforcement mechanism. But for a sitting president to act vociferously and with malice aforethought in active defiance of the law is absolutely heartbreaking. So this John character, don't be disrespectful to the flag by taking a knee at a football game. This was one of those red herring arguments. Oh, they just hate him because it's racism. It's racism. It's racism. You just don't want a black man to have free speech. The argument was never that you shouldn't be allowed to do the thing you're doing. Now, the statement included that doing the thing you're doing is distasteful, but the argument was, it's not that we don't support your right to speak freely. It's, we're talking about Colin Kaepernick here, who was protesting on the grounds of epidemic of police violence against black people. And the numbers just don't bear it out. It's not that we don't agree that you have a right to free speech. Now, and there's another argument there that I've relitigated several times on the show, and I'll touch it briefly here, but I don't want to go too deep into it. But it's not that we don't agree that you have a right to free speech. It's that your premise is wrong. You're a liar. You're protesting on lies. Whereas this chant, F Joe Biden, we're talking about something very, very different. We're talking about a person who has done explicitly criminal acts as the President of the United States of America. And while there have been some overtures to introduce articles of impeachment, the fact of the matter is the Democrats control so much currently that we're not going to see an impeachment of the most obviously impeachable president in history. My mother points out the mask mandate does not apply to any members of Congress or their staff. Yeah, the mask mandate, the USPS is also being exempted, and I can't imagine out loud on YouTube why it is that the U.S. Post Office would be given special privileges and allowances by a president that they clearly had nothing to do with getting elected. So there's that. John, you're an idiot. But by the way, just on the Kaepernick thing, you do have a right to free speech. You also have a right to sign a contract in which you voluntarily surrender some of your rights in exchange for considerations, which is what Kaepernick did. So Kaepernick was not acting within the rights that he had. Kaepernick was usurping rights he had voluntarily surrendered in exchange for a paycheck already. So he should have been fired for that. Now, let's go back up just a bit to the death metal Viking. Wow, you are probably the least death metal thing I've ever seen. Hey, F Joe Biden crowd. The largest stadiums in the United States hold a little over 100,000 people. Even if that's every one of those chuds screaming F Joe Biden, that's still significantly lower than 81,268,924 people. Math doesn't care about your feelings. And apparently, Death Metal Viking, your facts don't care about math. So here's the thing. It is entirely probable. I mean, you're right. 100,000 people in every stadium simultaneously does not equal the 81 million votes that Joe Biden totally fairly earned and were completely unfabricated. And the fact that the census data tells us that it's mathematically impossible for some 70 million people to have voted in a country that doesn't include that many qualified voters. Totally irrelevant. But let me just ask you this. Death Metal Viking, is it not possible that the extraordinarily low sentiment, the extraordinarily low support rating for Joe Biden has something to do with maybe some of those 81 million some odd voters? They miss paying less than $2 for gas. They miss being able to afford groceries. They miss, I don't know, having a job. They miss, let's be frank, being Americans. It's possible. It just maybe, you shitbeard wannabe, just maybe some of your buddies regret having voted against America and her interests. We didn't have an election between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. We had an election between the United States and China. And the United States lost. That's what happened, is China won the election. So, I really don't have much more to say on this particular topic. Oh God, I don't even have time for you fucking chud. F. Joe Biden, we knew this was coming. Republicans will start to blame Joe Biden for COVID. They've already tried to blame him for inflation in Afghanistan. Inflation in Afghanistan is clearly his fault. Okay. Nope, I'm not going to go down a rabbit hole. As y'all can hear, my voice is not doing well. I'm slowing down a little bit here. So I'm going to take a moment, say good morning to everybody, and I'm going to call it a day because, yeah, I need to go find a lozenge or something. So I got Trish, good morning. And Drew's with us. Steve, as always, morning sunshine. Krista, I already saw Ma. Ma, I said good morning, love you. Krista, I just mentioned you, I think. And I see Sean Stryker's with us. Good morning, brother. And I think that's everybody. And Alex, I see Alex. I don't see Danny, unfortunately. But I know how her mornings sometimes get a little hectic with the school and stuff. So, love you guys. Thanks for watching. And I will see you tomorrow.